Havertine and Erini, who he picked. She is a yearling out of Poseidon, who is my first white pied, and Cyan. And in Greek mythology, Poseidon's daughter is Erini, so that's who she is. And I just put that nest box on there, and look at that. She's been about a minute sitting there. Now, of course, Haverty's had a few rodeos, but she's brand new at this. But she, took her maybe a minute. Until you see her cocking her head and looking at that nest box, she's like, now that is interesting. What do you think, honey? She says, that's a nest box. Just for us. You were checking that out? She says, that is so interesting. I think there's a hole in there, honey. And I'm going to go in it. So I've set up 3 more pairs. 2 changes in here. I used to have these 2. This is Khalil and Snow. I used to have these 2 set up over here with a nest box. And then I went to clean the cage and discovered that they had terrible diarrhea. So I pulled them, put them over here, and they're on medication. And, of course, Snow laid her first egg in the bottom of the cage, but hopefully she'll stop producing eggs now that I've put her in a different cage with no nest box. I'll give them their 5 days of antibiotics, which seems to be making a huge difference. And then I'm going to put them out and let them fly around for a few days, and then I'll bring them back in and set them up again. Because these 2 are still a fertility check. On the other hand, since he was so sick, I'm kind of wondering if maybe I should just put her with a different male and try him another time. Because it seems unlikely that he'll be producing or up to breeding. I could tell that he wasn't doing anything before, so I don't know. I'm still deciding. I have another male that I could breed her to, if that strikes me as a good idea. So I just finished cleaning up these cages and setting them up. This is, of course, Haverty and Erini. And that is Hephaestus and Luna. Now, Hephaestus and Demeter, there's her sister, making fertile eggs. I don't know, have we got an egg in here yet? Not yet. Now, this is a hen that has never laid an egg for me, but she has an egg bump. She's breeding, so maybe we're finally going to get that taken care of. She's a fertility check. So this is not a fertility check. I'm assuming everybody over here is fertile. The next cage down is Steel, who's the male, the normal, and the hen is that recessive pied female. She, can you see the yellow? She has like not yellow. She has like a clear thumbprint on the back of her head that tells me that although I know she's recessive pied, she may have some other pied mixed in there, maybe a little Dutch pied or something. But he has no such thing. This is an outbreeding to get splits of higher quality. And Steel over there has a beautiful blow and a nice mask and decent size, whereas Pytho, the little girl right there, she is Katesh's baby girl. These are both yearlings. And she has some decent size, but not much in the way of blow. So we definitely are continuing to improve the recessive pied line. She's actually a really interesting bird. If you look at her long flight feathers, they look spangled, which her mother was spangled because they're white with a black rim all the way around the edge. But the rest of her is not spangle. So I don't know. She's just a really interesting marked bird. But she definitely qualifies. She came out of a recessive pied and a male split to recessive pied. So We know that's in there, and there may be a few other things in there too. So these two we had not picked each other. They're just kind of hanging out. And the fact that I just put that nest box on, she's been like banging all the doors on the cage, going, why the hell am I in this little tiny cage? And he's been sitting there going, I don't know what the heck's going on. He is questionably, I keep looking at him and going back and forth. Is he a mauve or is he a gray? His father was a gray. His father was a violet and his mother was a gray that was split to blue. So I don't know what he is. But he's a pretty boy, and she's also a gray split to blue. Oh look, they just had a little conversation there. That's the first time I've even seen them talk. See, they've been like, why are we here? What is this? Because they don't know. My older birds that have bred before know exactly what's going on when I bring them in here. They're like, oh, we're in the breeding shed. Yay, we're going to get a nest box. Let's do it. But the younger birds have no clue, and they're just more distressed about the tiny cage. Well, tiny in comparison to their open flight. They're actually pretty decent-sized cages, but they think they're tiny. So right now all I'm doing is running interference on all of her attempts to OCD on everything except the man in the nest box. She ought to get her groove on here pretty soon. These two down here, their nest box is sitting out in the sun right now because it's still a little bleachy, and I need the bleach smell to evaporate out before they get it. But that is this is Irene's brother, the clear flight pied down there. I actually call him a clear flight pied. I think I've been told that he's a dominant pied. He just doesn't have any markings on him. I don't know how you tell that, but anyway, and he is a great big huge bird with no feather whatsoever and no blow whatsoever. So I'm breeding him to this little girl who is a little tiny thing with a great big blow and lots of feather. So this is a size to feather pairing. She is a gray split to blue. He's a blue, sky blue. Okay. So up here we have Hemsworth, whose hen is happily laying eggs. This is a fertility check for him. If her eggs are clear, I will separate them, leave her a few weeks to recover, and put her in put her back in with somebody else, depending on who's available. This is Sky and Powder, who were new to each other. And Sky has decided to move into the box. Not without issue, though, because when I pulled these two out of the cage next door and put these two in, it turned out that Sky had quite a little infatuation with my little green guy in there. So I had to put up paper towels all the way across to get her to turn off of him and back on to Powder. Anyway, this is Lava and Sea, as in ocean. He is a rainbow grandson who is split to, what do you call it? I'm having a brain fade. He's split to Texas clear body. He's actually quite tall. It's going to have decent size. He's had older brothers that came out quite large. But as you can see, there's not a huge amount of feather or mask there. So of course we have to hook him up to improve the Texas clear body line. We have to hook him up with this girl, who is a nice, great, big, tall girl with a big blow and a lovely mask. So they've only been in here for 2 days. She has done this before, he hasn't. So she's already in the nest box. But he's a little behind the curve, and she's kind of waiting for him to catch up. So, Peabody's girl is in the box, but no eggs yet. Oh, there comes Sky. Hi, Sky. Gets a little warm in there, huh? I'm insulating boxes. See, the tape around the bottom is holding insulation onto the bottom of the box. Because we are still dipping down close to the 30s at night. And hens have a hard time keeping eggs and babies viable when the bottom side of the box is 30 degrees. Because no matter how hot she is on the top side, the bottom gets too cold. So, like I said, I'm insulating the boxes. I haven't insulated the new ones yet because they just got cleaned and really have to dry for a few days. But at least they're on there and they get some time to, there she is. Some time to, oh, are you going to breed? I hope you guys are breeding. Fertility check Wednesday, so we have 2 more days. So this is Razzle and Remington, who had given me a bunch of blanks. And yesterday I did a second check, and there is 1 viable embryo in there and 2 other eggs that, you know, they may show up with something or not. She laid a soft-shelled egg in the corner, so that kind of tells me she's probably done laying, and she actually laid a couple of eggs out in the flight cage before I got her in here. And the first 2 eggs that she laid in here were weird because of some medication she'd been on. So the last 3 eggs are what we've got in there, and we'll see how many of them come up viable. I know 1's viable, and if that's the only one, then I can foster an egg from somebody else in there on them. So these 2 are, I don't know, taking their time. I'm kind of wondering why we haven't gotten that first egg yet. I know she's spending time in here, but there's no egg yet. Oh, and this is Apollo and Hera laid her first egg, has her fertility check on next Saturday. So, one of the things that I learned is that I have to resist the temptation to be always opening the box and handling the eggs, because a lot of hens will find this very disruptive, and they'll jump off the eggs and kick them around, and the eggs bounce around inside the box like ping pong balls and get cracked. So, after realizing that I was causing a lot of my eggs to not hatch, I set so I watch until I get a date for the first egg to be laid, and then I put a piece of tape on there that says fertility check. 6 days later, by that time she should have 3 eggs in there, and most times I'll see fertility by then. There is maybe 20% of the time there will be no visible fertility, and I'll have to wait another 3 or 4 days to check again before I either throw out all the eggs and break them up, or end up with some fertile eggs at the very end. So, a lot of times I end up with fertile eggs. So I'm waiting for a fertility check on here, and I got fertility there. Are we still on? We're still on 3 eggs. 3 eggs, all normal. I took it. She had 2 weird eggs in there. I took them out because they obviously weren't going to develop. So we're waiting on these 2 over here still. She's in the box, but she doesn't seem to be in a big hurry to lay. So we'll just wait. And this girl, this is Jade and Soul, my surprise lacewing male. And they are pairing off, and she is spending time in the box. So things are starting to happen. And then here's newer pairs up here who haven't got their insulation on the box, but they are dry by now. This is Kobe and Lavender. And Lavender, as you can see, is in the box. This is Bubba and Sif, and they are taking their time. I'm kind of surprised, because Bubba's pretty irresistible to most hens, but Sif is kind of, I don't know, she's dawdling. She wanted somebody else. I've seen her go in the box. You see the pine shavings down there means she's in the box claiming. She's pulling the pine shavings out, saying, this is my box. Let's tidy it up. But I don't see a lot of love happening here. I think Bubba has some more moves to make. Oh, well, that was a little loud. Yeah, it's still a little hesitant, though. And down here, we have a bonded pair. This is Mars and Thalia. And Thalia is in the box, ready and raring to go. So, that's our update. Things are happening. I have my first fertility. I have eggs in 2 other boxes. I have lots of new pairs set up, so I'm up to 15 pairs in here. And this stack is going to remain empty because I need to know who's fertile and who's not fertile out of the fertility check gang before I can match up, set up anybody else. So we'll see. Again, questionable. Demeter here has never laid an egg. She tries like heck, but nothing ever comes out. Hemsworth is tightly bonded to his Luna, but he's never managed to kill an egg with her. These two are a new pair. I don't see any problems there. I'm gonna get that they'll put this together. Down here, Apollo's proven. Hera has given me 2 blank nests, probably from extenuating circumstances. Peabody, oh, he's gone. He spends a lot of time in the nest with his little girl. There they are. Precious, hello. See her sticking her head out? He's feeding her. He says, go back in, honey. Lay an egg. He's never managed to fill an egg for me either, so I'm hoping for a miracle down there. These two, I don't expect any problem, but they've only been here for a day. These two are going along, so, and this guy Soul has never showed any interest in breeding before, but he is now, so those are my 7 fertility checks. Well, these guys are one of my fertility checks too, but bad health has kind of interrupted this, So anyway, we're waiting to see what's going to happen with these guys. In the next week to 10 days, I should get some pretty solid information about fertility. For instance, if Demeter still hasn't laid an egg in 10 days, she's not going to. And when I do fertility checks, I'll find out if Hemsworth managed to fill an egg this time, and if Hera manages to get any fertile eggs in there. So we'll see. I think Sky is going to lay an egg pretty soon. I see her tail bouncing a bit. So, did she go in there already? Wow. No, she's not in, but she is interested. She's like, look at this, honey. This looks like a nest. Isn't that interesting? She has never seen a box before. But that dark hole is such an allure for a hen. She just can hardly stand it. And of course, Haverty says, yeah, you go, girl. I'm telling you, a hen in a nest box is like a woman in lingerie. If you're a parakeet, it's everything. Nothing gets a male parakeet more excited than a hen in a nest box. And, oh, where's little crazy girl? Don't tell me she went in. Goodness gracious. Look at that. She's gone. She went in that nest box. Didn't she, Steele? Wow, that was fast. All right, I have to go get this nest box for this last pair down here. I hope it's getting a little drier by now. Okay, that's it for today.